Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Comic Book Geezers. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Cover. It's also another episode of When the Facsimile Edition Will Just Have to Do, right? Of course, we do these episodes for these really legendary, expensive comics that are hard to get, but also because they're just so damn expensive. So Marvel has put out these facsimile editions, which basically reproduce the original issues to a T, including all the same ads and everything like that, other than the fact it's on modern paper and all that sort of thing. It's basically the exact same issue. So I did this recently with X-Men #1, originally published in September of 1963. You know, you almost forget like how early in Marvel's run in the early 60s X-Men first started. You know, you had obviously Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, and, you know, the Avengers started coming out, but the X-Men right in the mix with all that stuff there very, very early on. The Hulk, I mean, it's a very, very early batch of superheroes, and, you know, other than the Fantastic Four and the Avengers, there were no other teams at the time, right? So X-Men, of course, versus Magneto, cover by Jack Kirby. Kind of an iconic issue right here. And again, if you're going to look to buy an actual 1963 produced comic, you're talking big bucks. So here, written by Stan Lee, drawn by Jack Kirby, inked by Paul Reinman, and lettered by Stan Rosen. So here, you know, you don't get a lot of history of the characters, right? They basically start in, you're at the X-Men school for mutants. Charles Xavier, otherwise known as Professor X, telepathically calling all of the students, right? Of course, we've got Cyclops, you've got Angel, Iceman, and the Beast is the early team. That's who's at the school at this point. Nobody else, right? So he basically calls them in and says, hey, guys, because they're basically teenagers here, it's time to do your challenging exercises and going through your, you know, all the tests that you need to do to develop your skills. So here you can kind of see. So, of course, this is Beast before the fur, right? You got Iceman. You know, Bobby's looking a little bit like a snowman here. So, you know, Kirby would develop the look of these characters over the first few issues. But then, of course, we would go on to other artists, and they would further develop the costumes and then the way these characters looked. And, you know, it's funny how they changed the names here. One of the names is it Slim? Yeah, Scott is called Slim here. I guess that was a nickname. They changed that fairly quickly, I think, on issue #3, but it's kind of weird seeing them call him Slim. I'm like, all right. Scott was never called Slim. Of course, Scott's Cyclops. So here you can see they're going through all of these exercises that Charles has them doing. What's really also interesting, too, and you can't really read it here, but this back and forth between Iceman and Beast is very, very similar to the back and forth between the Thing and the Human Torch, because, of course, Bobby the Iceman is the youngest of this group right here, and he's always kind of peppering Beast, you know, calling him the big, you know, whatever. You know, lawyers, superpowers, you guys are just a bunch of softies, can't stand a refreshing dose of frozen cubes. And, of course, they start going back and forth, and it's a very, very similar type of relationship, and Iceman has a very similar kind of like, you know, that kind of snarky, instigating young, you know, guy, young kid, whatever. So very, very similar in tone. And then, you know, as you can see here, very early artwork here from Kirby on this. Arguably not the best that we would see in X-Men, but again, it's first issue, right? So just trying to figure out these characters. As you can see, you know, Iceman looks basically like he's all fluffy and puffy like a snowman. His look going forward would be much better, in my opinion. But, you know, the powers of Cyclops very much evident there. He's got to be real careful about how much of the blast he lets out. You know, they show the Beast's nimbleness and all that sort of thing. And here we get introduced to Jean Grey. Of course, you know, Marvel Girl. She's the next mutant to come into the school. Of course, all the four guys are like, hey, check you out. It's amazing. Some of the dialogue is like, again, it's from the time, but a lot of the stuff would not fly today. And so here, they're all vying for her affection, even Beast, right? Hank McCoy. And then finally we get the first look at Magneto. Right? Of course, one of the evil mutants looking to take over the world. Mutants are going to take over from the regular Homo sapiens. The army starts getting involved. Of course, he's using his magnetic powers to, jam their guns and turn away the tanks and all that sort of thing. Surrender the base or I'll take it by force. Magneto. And then, of course, goes and meets up with the military. They realize they can't do a thing to him. As you can see here, he kind of repels everything they try to do. Eventually, Charles, the professor, gets wind that there's something going on, so he tells the X-Men to get ready, get your costumes on. We're going to head out to the base. We're going to see what's going on here. We got some activity. So they show up, and they basically, again, the X-Men are pretty much unknown at this point in time. So they show up and say, hey, we're going to help out here. And, the armed forces are kind of like, all right, we don't really know who you guys are, but yeah, we could use all the help we can get because we're not getting anywhere with this Magneto guy. And then, of course, the battle ensues. And, Magneto realizes he's up against fellow mutants, and they're kind of a force to be reckoned with, but he's pretty confident of his power. How's this for a cool Marvel masterpiece? Upcoming issue, Amazing Spider-Man #4, the debut of the Sandman. Book is worth a lot of money these days. So here we got, again, battle happening. Some of these early battles in Marvel Comics, not quite as action-packed and much less violent than what we would see going forward. But, again, it's 1963. And, at this point in time, Magneto figures out that he's got more than he can handle here and probably time to fight another day. Of course, we will see him coming back very soon with more evil mutants, right? So that's how that goes. And here we've got issue #3 of Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos. All right, so again, another one of those early series, Sergeant Fury, along with, like I mentioned, like Spider-Man and X-Men, Fantastic Four, Avengers, and whatnot. So, Journey into Mystery and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's our look at the X-Men, issue #1. Like I said, September 1963. This is the Facsimile edition, so this was it's got a $3.99 sticker price. That's really the only difference. With everything else is exactly the same. As you can see, all the ads are the same, but you've got obviously the barcode down here, and you've got the $3.99 sticker and different kind of paper and whatnot. But like I said, thousands and thousands of dollars for the original issue, and that's just not going to happen. So yeah, I'm happy to have this in my collection now. So let us know your thoughts and memories of X-Men #1. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below in the video description, we've got the link to the Sea of Tranquility merch page so you can get yourself a Comic Book Users t-shirt or coffee mug if you'd like to help out the channel and go ahead and proudly proclaim your faithfulness to our channel and help spread the word of Comic Book Users and tell all your comic book friends. So thanks for watching. I'm P. Pardo. We'll see you real soon here with more stuff. Take care. Bye-bye.